Hey guys, I've got something different for you today. This is a review around the Dehancer Pro. They've been kind enough to provide me with a copy to review. Basically a tool that allows you to customize the look and feel of your videos and give it that cinematic look. So if any of you out there are looking to do some filmmaking or YouTube videos and you want that film look, then this is for you. I have used it over the last month, been very happy with it. But we'll get into the details, show you how to install it. We'll be using it in Final Cut and Premiere Pro just to demo different versions. So also I feel like Final Cut and Premiere becomes more useful because the other platforms, DaVinci Resolve has some good inbuilt features, but Final Cut is quite limited. And there is even an iPhone app. But we'll get onto that later. Yeah, basically there's a few licenses you can choose from: lifetime, a yearly license, a 6-month license, a 3-month license. Yeah, so that's the pricing plans. There are also different plugins you can select. For example, you can just get the Dehancer Bloom, for example, for Final Cut, or the Elation plugin. So there's plenty of different options there if you're not looking for the full suite. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the plugin for Final Cut Pro. So you'll want to click on the download and get free trial option. You'll then get the host applications set out at the top. So you've got Photoshop, because you can do photo editing, etc. So, but for this option, we're going to go for Final Cut. I'm using macOS, and then we'll select the Dehancer Pro Final Cut plugin. There is also different options there, but we'll go for this for now. That's downloaded. So now you'll see there's some guides and a installer package. So make sure they are closed first, and then we'll run the installer package. So once that's installed, just launch up Final Cut Pro, and we'll want to create a project first. So let's do that quickly. Okay, so you'll find the Dehancer plugin in the effects panel under film emulation. So there you go, you can see Dehancer Pro version 2. Drag that across to your footage, and you can apply the effects shown. I'm just going to activate it, and then we can continue. Okay, so that's now activated, and there are a few profiles available to download. So if you scroll down in the tool, you'll find the Dehancer plugin profiles. So select download profiles, and these will be automatically updated when new ones are released, which is pretty cool. They've just added the Venice cameras recently, which are professional grade cinema cameras. Okay, one thing to note with this program, which I think we could work on, is when you apply the plugin effect by default, it applies all these settings. For example, the obvious one here is film grain. You can see it has applied all these settings here, and it can be a bit off-putting at first, so that's something I think they could maybe change with future updates. Just make it a bit more obvious that these settings have been applied, or just don't apply them unless there's just some sort of profile option, just like, you know, just to select it. I don't know, I don't really like the fact that it just applies loads of settings. I prefer it just to be without anything, and then you just add it as you go. But first of all, yeah, we've got the different profiles as a source setting. For example, in this footage, I'm just going to use Rec 709, but you'd probably want to use your camera to correct the footage. So make sure after you've downloaded your profiles, you restart the program. Anyway, so if we open this up now, we will see all the different camera makes. I'll just run through those just to make it obvious. If anyone's interested in the different camera models, then they can just skip through the timeline. I use a Sony a7 IV. You know, there are different cameras like the Venice, the ZV-1, ZV-E1. So you can use this as the source and it will correct the footage. And then you can apply the effects on top of that. And then you can pick the format as well. So S-Log3 and the Cinetone is what I use. But yeah, you wouldn't use it on this stock footage as it will do some horrendous effects. So you want to just go to Rec 709. But anyway, so let's have a look at the different. You can use iPhone, you know, Apple Log. You've got the different cameras here, Blackmagic. So there's loads of options available. So if you want to skip back through and see what cameras are available with this plugin, then that might be useful if you're looking to purchase it to make sure your camera is supported. They're always, as I said before, they're always updating this functionality. So to start with, you've got these different exposure settings, temperature comp, loads of tweaks you can do to customize the look of your footage. They have the film look, so you can choose the film type to get that look you're after. They've got some vintage like film stock here that you can select from, and I think it's pretty cool how it gives that effect if you're looking for that cinematic feel. There's a lot of different settings as you can see here, but you can also select the print stock, which gives it another realistic feel if you're looking for that cinematic look. The other cool settings you have are, you can have like halation, which you usually would need some sort of like filter on the end of your camera to sort of look. You know, the film grain's cool. The bloom. So there's lots of really cool effects there that work really well in this program. And the good thing about it is it's not just a mask. It's actually taking that footage and editing it. So it can be quite taxing on your computer, but as long as you've got a silicon chip, I'm sure you'd be fine. Now, for example, the film grain, it doesn't mask it. It takes that footage and it applies the film grain to it. This makes it look more realistic. So next, let's try this out in Premiere Pro. I've loaded it up here. We'll add some stock footage. Okay, so once you've installed it, you'll find it under the effects panel. Under film emulation again, it'll be Dehancer Pro. Okay, and you would drag that over the footage and you can apply the different settings to that footage. I won't run over it all over again. It's basically the same as in Final Cut, but I just thought I'd show you how it works. And again, it's very simple to use. Yeah, so you'll find the Dehancer plugin settings within the effects control panel, and that'll allow you to add the same settings I've discussed before, the film grain, and again it does apply those same settings which by default, which can be a bit frustrating. Also, Dehancer have released an iPhone plugin that you can use on your iPad and your iPhone. Probably is available on Android, but I don't use that, so I'm not sure, but it allows you to make these changes using the app, so you can edit photos, update film, give it those cinematic looks and styles, all from your phone or your iPad. You can then take that footage and upload it wherever you need it to be, which is a really useful tool. So feel free to check that out. I'm really happy with the Dehancer plugin. I've been using it for a month now. I've used it to correct footage, to add, film grain, or try and mess about and get some cinematic looks. If I'm being honest, the color correction is the best thing for me, so I can take iPhone log footage, correct that, take my Sony A7 IV footage, correct that, and then apply styles on top of that without needing to buy a lot of different plugins and LUTs. I've spent a lot of money on different LUTs. I still will use them, but the color correction side of things, I think that's a great benefit, and they're always adding cameras. And then as I progress, with my video editing, I can continue to add different effects, maybe add inflation, things like that, to our footage, and make it more professional and give it a nicer feel. But yeah, I think for YouTube, this is great for color correction, but it's also got all these other features, which means you could create different styles of video. This is a bit of a different video for me, but I hope it's been useful. Stay tuned, there'll be more tech updates coming your way. And thank you to Dehancer for providing me with a copy so I could test it and review it.